I'm Marilyn Moore. Welcome to Lifestyle Matters. We have Alan here with us from the Fresno Metropolitan Flood Control District, and we're talking about an important topic today. We're talking about drain systems and how we may be polluting the water and essentially our drinking water. Very interesting topic, Alan. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Now, we're in front of a basin right now. What is the purpose of this basin? Because I've never known the purpose of these things.
So Fresno's so flat, we don't have the ability to drain our water to the river. The topography kind of drains away from the river. So the concept was to put all these ponding basins in town, and so when it rains, the water flows down the gutter and then to our storm drainage inlets and eventually underground into a pipeline collection system, and it outlets and disposes of the water here in these ponding basins. And there's a lot of them all around town.
Oh, absolutely. Now, what kind of pollutants are you finding in the water?
So the main pollutants are obviously just plain litter on the streets, but oils from cars, pesticides and herbicides from over misuse of fertilizer and those sorts of things in their yard, paint, and just misuse of cleaning products.
Now, what are some of the pollutants that, the filtration system can't filter out?
So it's a lot of the oils, the hydrocarbons and other things that are put into and disposed into the water, and the soils can't remove those pollutants because they have actually gone on to the water molecules, and you just can't separate that through the water's movement through the soil.
Now, is that when it goes actually into our drinking water? What's the process of it going into our drinking water, essentially?
So Fresno, for years, was just what they call a sole source aquifer. All of our drinking water came from under the ground. The city of Fresno is correcting that by building surface water treatment plants. But until those are in place, and we will still have to pull water out of the groundwater and up into our drinking water supply. So we put the water in the ponding basins, and then it percolates through the soils and down into that groundwater aquifer. So if we pollute the water that we're trying to replenish down into the aquifer, the city can't bring it back up for our drinking water without purifying it with treatment systems.
And that's why there's no swimming in these ponds, right?
Well, we prefer for people not to be swimming in it. I don't think it's of that much of a toxic level that, it would harm people. But, yeah, we've had to chase kids off from swimming in our ponding basins.
Makes sense. Now, I think we're going to be getting some rainfall. So why is it important, that we consider rainfall when we're taking care of our home?
So, like today, what a beautiful day, and people want to start putting fertilizer on their lawns or spraying herbicides and those sorts of things. If you want to do those, we just recommend you do them well in advance of a storm, because the rain will have an opportunity to wash those pollutants and that off of. If you just put it on, it'll wash those off into the gutter, and then it travels down into the ponding basins.
Now, what about the storm drains? Should we, be watching those?
Well, obviously, a lot of people may wonder, well, why is my street flooded, in front of my house? And many times it's because, in the fall, the leaves have fallen down or trash or debris, and it floats down the street and gets in front of the inlets and plugs the inlets. And, it's not that it's not working. It's just that it's just plugged. So they need to clear that out. And so it's important to keep an eye on those inlets.
So even if you're seeing, the newspapers that you're leaving out on your driveway, I sure do that, I know, at least for a week, and that's awful. That's something that you should really be thinking about as well.
Yeah, I mean, anything that could be washed from the rainfall out into the street, people need to be aware of that, because that will run down the gutter and plug inlets.
Would you say that, that this is an issue, that we are polluting, the water that we essentially could be drinking, like a big issue?
Well, it's a big enough issue that we have this, public campaign every year. We have a permit with the federal government that says we're supposed to be keeping water clean. And so that's why we want to help the public help us to keep it clean.
And one more time, because I think it's so interesting, why are these basins all around town?
To collect stormwater and to keep it out of people's front yards. When it rains, we were created specifically to protect property and collect the stormwater and keep it out of people's homes.
Great. Now, where can people find some more information?
So we have a website that we created, and if they want to go there, they can certainly find out all about this stormwater program.
Great. And I know you have an interactive, I think there's a quiz on there. Is that correct?
Yeah, there is a quiz to help people, learn more about stormwater.
I love it. That's always a fun thing to do, on your day off.
Yeah, we do it well, and people, wonder if there's no water on the streets, why do we worry about it? But we think people need to be educated and know about what we as an agency are about for this community.
Thank you, Alan. And make sure to check out that website to learn more about the water that you may be drinking and polluting. I'm Marilyn Moore, and thanks for watching Lifestyle Matters.